Welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about my recommendations of 10 multichromes for fall. I have done a video like this before and I made sure that I am not recommending any repeats. I will link that video in the description box in case you're interested in seeing those recommendations as well. And in this video I am trying to stick to 10. It was very hard, but we are going to be looking at individual swatches of each of these and I'm going to be talking through why I chose them. And some of these eyeshadows were gifted to me and some of them I did purchase. And these are going to be in no particular order. So let's get right into it. First up is Daily Mantra from Touch of Glam Beauty. Now their Etsy store is currently closed. They are working on an actual website, so hopefully they will reopen soon. And the reason I chose this one is because it flashes very brightly green, and then it has a very subtle yellow base and then a blue purple shift, and it is just so absolutely dimensional. And I think this one would be great for layering over green matte eyeshadow, really any grungy eyeshadow. You can layer it over yellow eyeshadow as well, and just great with neutrals too. And it is just so shiny and sparkly. It's a little bit of texture to it, so it does take a little bit of smoothing out. Probably would recommend some sort of a tacky primer, but this one is so special. Next up from Touch of Glam Beauty is I Matter, and this is just a really stunning grungy green based shadow with a pink flash. Again, this one would be great for a spicy neutral type of multi-chrome shadow, and it does have a little bit more texture to it as well. I would say maybe not as quite as much as the previous shadow, but pretty on par with that, so it takes a little bit of smoothing out and it smooths out beautifully. Next up is Hidden Gem, and this one is from ShineBySD, and I had to pick a fiery fall sunset sky kind of shadow. This one has a pretty gray base, almost no base to it. So this one is again very layerable. This is 2 coats, so you can kind of have it a little bit more sheer if you wanted to. And this one is just so smooth and so shiny. And I feel like this one just represents fall to me so well, between the leaves and the sunsets of fall. Next up is Atomic Division from Terra, and this one shifts to a bright green, but has a very neutral, almost pinky tone straight on. And this one is just such a great neutral for fall that gives the vibes of fall without being like hitting you across the face with it like the shade right before this one. And this one is so beautifully smooth. Again, great to pair with neutrals, greens, etc. Really almost any tones I think this would work well with. Next up is Tidal Flare, and I felt like this one just had a really beautiful grungy grayish base to it with a pink flash. And this one, again, it's very dimensional and could be paired with so many different tones of mattes, but in particular, I would say warmer tone mattes and purples as well. I knew I wanted at least 2 kind of grungy purples to add. Next up is Lynx. I wanted an orange with a lot of gold and yellow tones in it as well, and this one is so absolutely sparkly. Very beautiful smooth texture, but has a lot of sparkle to it. And this one, again, you could even pair with some greens for an extra little pop, because I think this one's going to very much flash the gold, even though it has that orange base to it and it looks very orange in the pan. Next up is Capella from It's Belle Cosmetics, and this is from their Cosmic Era collection, and I have a dedicated video on that collection, but look at this. It is very green, and then it has that flash of orange, and it's just absolutely stunning. It definitely reminds me of pumpkin spice with the green and the orange together, and this one is so beautiful, very smooth. And I feel like this is such an underrated shadow. I use this one on the lid in my dedicated video, and I was obsessed with it. It is so beautiful. Next up is Mural, and this is just a really breathtaking multi-chrome. This is a fall shadow I would recommend any year, honestly, until all of eternity. It just really gives me fall vibes with the grungy base to it and then the pink flash. It is such a fun shade, and by layering this over different matte shadows, you can really just bring out the different shifts and just really play around with it. It is honestly like 5 eyeshadows in one. Next up is Burnish Light from Clionadh Cosmetics, and I fell in love with this shade the moment I swatched it. Such a beautiful, vibrant version of its jeweled multi-chrome counterpart. It's got a very almost orangey, reddish tone and a beautiful, bright shift to green and some yellow as well. And I've been really enjoying the light formula that they just launched. It's just kind of the best of both worlds, and these are just absolutely beautiful and bright. They really pack a punch, and again, because of the lighter base to them, you can very easily wear these as a one and done shadow or just a matte in the crease and just blend them seamlessly and very easily into the crease and into the mattes. And last up from Clionadh is Royal Plum, and this is the second grungy purple shade. It is a little bit darker and it is pretty opaque, so not really as layerable as Mural, for example, but it almost actually verges on being like a great Halloween shade as well because of the purple and the grunginess to it. And I feel like this is a pretty unique kind of tone of purple, and the shift is so beautiful, and this is a very, very smooth shadow. It is not like the shiniest, I would say Mural is shinier and so is Burnish Light, but it is still a beautiful metallic shade nonetheless. So those are my 10 recommendations of multi-chrome eyeshadows for fall. Let me know in the comments below what your recommendations are. What are your go-to this season? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. And that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and you love multi-chrome content, definitely consider subscribing. There's so many videos uploading my channel and much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.